Hello, and welcome to Maintaining Your ISO Management System, Maximize Efficiency and Effectiveness by Perry Johnson Consulting. I am George Cipolla. I am a certified ARCA QMS lead auditor and consult for Perry Johnson Consulting. And welcome to our presentation. Okay, so many tasks, so little time. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you've lost it, you can never get it back. So said Harvey Mackay. I love this quote because this is what I think about whenever I conduct audits. I see a lot of time that was burned doing things that were already done by somebody else or repeated because they were not done correctly or based on miscommunication. This is so true. And depending on your industry sectors or your supply chain, you may be confronted with one or more ISO management system standards that presents a challenge to you managing your time and efficiency and effectiveness. Now take a look at this. Does this represent your company's present or future? What you see on display here is the evolution of quality management systems I see going on today. Most places that I deal with or serve, they start out with the basic, the ISO 9001 quality management system. And then once they get their feet entrenched and they implement the system, they feel better about themselves and they make improvements, they feel confident they can branch out and chase more business. As a matter of fact, most strategic directions, which you have to establish to be certified to ISO 9001, include we want to grow the business. And that could include going to industry sectors that you haven't been in, arenas you have not dared to step your toe in, and yet now you want to embark there. So then when you entertain new business ventures from these other industries, they come back with, well, you know, we really would like to have you as a supplier, but it would sure help if you were certified to, and it could be AS 9100, which is the aerospace. It could be ISO 13485, which is the medical device. It could even be one up a couple there that you see, the IATF 6949 automotive. And a lot of these industries also are throwing in, and you know, we really are committed to the environment and safety. So it would be wonderful if you had an environmental management system and an occupational health and safety management system. Oh boy, I'm the top of the company and I'm like, I have to supply resources and I have to spend my resources wisely, the people and the time allotted to them. So who's minding the store? So what we experience when we audit or consult is a list similar to what you see there. Maybe this reminds you of your current responsibility tree. For example, most companies utilize the quality manager or quality director or whatever the title is to implement and maintain the ISO 9001 generic quality management system. But then along comes aerospace. And maybe adding to the mix, in addition to the quality manager, then the engineering manager may have to get involved. Hey, that could even happen for the automotive one too, but for the sake of example. So then you bring the engineering manager in with their people. And then if you want medical device certification, a very important person for the medical device arena is the medical device tech writer. It might not be called that, but the person who writes the SOPs has to be very expert in FDA rules and regulations. So they have to write the SOPs in a manner that meet those regulations because fines could result if they're not written correctly. So there you have another person adding their controls to the management system. Someone probably referred to as the environmental health and safety manager. And then if you expand more and go into automotive, not only are you bringing in a new standard, you're probably giving way more responsibilities to the quality manager and probably even the engineering manager. And then if you branch into occupational health and safety, which is the 45,001, then you're bringing in the EHS manager even more. So you have all these different sectors in your company participating in your quality management system. Where is everything? Well, we're trained as auditors. We seek conformance. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but we seek define conformity to requirements. But we also want to detect what we call nonconformity, conflicts, failures to meet requirements, things that don't line up with each other in different departments. So what we find is, and it happens all too often, each responsible person, whether it be the engineering manager, the quality manager, whoever, they have their own set of documentation. And I use the word squirrels, the documents, into unique server files just for them. In a lot of companies, because of security and worries and risk, the company locks down folders on the server just to people who need to read them. And they may not allow accounting to look at this or quality to look at that. And therefore, they're locked out from important information. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not. The other next point is the duplication is significant. All of them have similar requirements in their standards in several areas. And here I presented just a few that involve several people. If you look at the standards that I mentioned earlier, with the exception of the 13485, they all have the same structure. But in addition, the 13485, although the structure is different, they also have the same requirements. They're just in different sections, and there is a cross-reference for you to look at there to see where they belong in the other standards. But the requirements are very similar. They all have documented information requirements. They all have corrective action requirements, management review requirements, and internal audit requirements. And that's just to name a few. But the problem is different departments may control their documented information differently. Departments also, from department to department, have different impacts based on their corrective actions. I have seen many a corrective action that doesn't go very deeply at all. You're supposed to perform robust corrective action through root cause analysis. Some departments aren't as robust as others because their disciplines aren't as strong. So you have different levels of attack in different departments. Management reviews, believe it or not, they are very, very similar from standard to standard, yet you will see, because they're worried about confusing people, we're going to have 4 different management reviews or 3 different management reviews, and we're going to make you go to each one. And then internal auditing, everybody has to perform those, and yet the auditing techniques are very similar, yet there might be different approaches to scheduling, status and importance, responsibilities, closures of corrective actions. What are the risks? And I present these risks because I've seen them result in nonconformities. What can go wrong? Plenty, exclamation point. First of all, associates working under multiple management systems are confused over differences between procedures for the same requirements. I have seen different document control procedures that conflict with each other, and the employee may be working for both departments and doesn't know where to file something, how to name the naming convention, et cetera, et cetera. So there's conflicts there. Secondly, leadership holds different management reviews, wasting valuable time, duplicating many of the requirements in separate meetings. In addition to the management reviews being different, during a management review, you're attacking improvement activities. You're looking for risks that need to be minimized and opportunities that need to be pursued. Improvement activities are part of the management review process, and you would be attacking risk reduction or opportunities to improve a process. And they may be similar from management review to management review, but they apply uneven actions. And when you apply uneven actions, whether you're digging 10,000 feet down or 20 feet down, you're going to have resulting impacts that are uneven. It may not pay off as well because you didn't do as good a job as the other department. So we don't like to see that, and that causes a lot of waste and inefficiency. Similar activities also are pursued under different process controls. Different people have different responsibilities, and the responsibilities could be shared with somebody else who's more skilled at them, who could be leading the effort for the departments that aren't so good. What is the solution? Well, that's why I'm here. PJC can provide at least a beginning point for the road to improvement. We can provide an ISO analysis of your management systems and give you a summary of the findings and recommendations that target three generally huge areas. First of all, we seek to offer recommendations to eliminate the duplicity of several people doing the same thing. Why are there 4 different document control people? Why are there 4 different internal audit program managers? And so on and so on. We like to streamline the documentation so that similar requirements are condensed into one that emphasizes the similarities, but does address the differences. Yes, there are differences, but there are more similarities than differences. Document control, management review, internal auditing, corrective action, non-conforming product control, et cetera, et cetera. The requirements are very, very similar, but you have different attacks based on who wrote the procedures, and sometimes requirements are different or more stringent in other places than they are in the one you're in, and then you might be guilty of not following the nonconformities that are required for that process. It also provides more efficiency and effectiveness to maintain all the management systems. Just by default, if you eliminate duplicity and you streamline the documentation, right there you're saving a lot of time. Plus, you'll probably end up more effective because you'll have better opportunities for improvement resolutions, better corrective action decisions, improved performance in your quality objectives because you've eliminated potential or actual root causes that were rooted out based on very robust root cause analysis. PJC can do so much more. We can take the ISO analysis to the next level if you want to pursue our recommendations. But the first step is to sign up for the ISO analysis. Future webcasts will focus on those additional steps. But first things first, you need to know where you are, because you are not going to get to where you want to go until you know exactly where you are now. And we provide that with that first step, which is the ISO analysis. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon.